13th Rajputs, the famous Shekhavati regiment. This was one of the most illustrious battalions of the British East India Company and survived the rebellion of 1857 because it was located in Midnapur in Bengal and away from the main center of the rebellion. Now, this short podcast is from my book Political Consequences of the First World War on the British Indian Army's class composition and myths about the class composition. The main inspiration of this book was my grandfather's elder brother, Agha Abdul Rauf, who served in the British Indian Police from about 1911 to 1945 and was regarded as a very special CID hand in dealing with the political loyalties of the British Indian Army, particularly in the First World War and in the middle period. Rauf's father and grandfather were from the Sikh artillery and they had settled in Rawalpindi district about 1800. Rauf had very peculiar views about the loyalty of the Punjabi Muslims. According to Rauf, the Punjab Muslims, as his family saw them, were a marginalized community. Mughals had not given them the due importance because Mughals were trying to please the Hindu Rajputs with whom they had extensively intermarried. The Hindu Marathas who were in rebellion against the Mughals, and of course the Sikhs with whom the Mughals were harsher but had to accept their presence and their political importance. Seen in this historical context, Rauf always thought that the Punjab Muslims particularly welcomed the British Company, including Rauf's father and grandfather, because they saw the British East India Company as saviors against the Sikhs, and of course the Hindus also were very close to the Sikhs, as was the Punjab tradition. At that time, the eldest son in a Punjabi Hindu family was declared a Sikh, and the Sikh Hindu relations were much closer than the Sikh Hindu or Sikh Muslim or Hindu Muslim relation in Punjab. So Rauf regarded and the Punjabi Muslims and Rauf's family who were settlers, they regarded the British Company as the savior and the true friend of Muslims, as he saw it. This is the reason why Rauf's father played an important role in the British Company's intelligence team in the siege of Delhi in 1857. Later he accompanied Lord Roberts and his superior Nawab Muhammad Hayat in the Second Afghan War, and after that also the family was very close to particularly the family of Nawab Hayat, with whom Rauf's father served as the staff officer, reader, and then in Chautra and Jatli, and the equation was very peculiar. Now Rauf narrated that the British were deeply shaken by the 1919 agitation in Punjab. As Rauf reflected, the interesting part was that maximum fatal casualties in the First World War were Punjabi Muslims, but they remained staunchly loyal to the British because they regarded the British as the true friends and saviors of the Muslims of Punjab. And of course, Rauf's family also settled in Rawalpindi since 1800 had the same feelings. So the feelings were genuine, they were based on genuine reasons, and of course, the Punjabi Muslims were a marginalized community. The Mughals had never given them any importance, and it was only under the British that they were given a position of respect and importance. So these factors people today don't understand. Now Rauf stated that deeply shaken by the 1919 disturbances, the British decided to carry out a complete ethnic transformation of the British Indian Army based on their harsh experience of the First World War and their harsh experiences of the 1919 Punjab disturbances, which led to the imposition of martial law in Punjab in 1919, and of course the non-cooperation movement of 1919-21, where the Hindus of UP, Bihar, Rajputana, etc., Bengal and Punjab, south of Chenab River, created very serious problems for the British. So, this is the background. Now we will deal with the 13th Rajputs, a very, very outstanding battalion of the British East India Company. 13th Rajputs, raised in 1835 as part of Jaipur State Force contingent at Shekhawat by Major R. Forster of English East India Company as part of Shekhawati Brigade, transferred to the English East India Company in 1843 and took part in the company's first Anglo-Sikh war, notably at the Battle of Aliwal. Survives 1857 as located in the heart of pro-English East India Company area in Midnapur in West Bengal. Upgraded to regular regiment in reorganization of 1861 and numbered 13th Bengal Native Infantry. Class composition in 1883. At that time the regiments had 8 companies. In 1857 regiments had 10 companies, and after 1857 in the 1861 reorganization they were reduced to 8 companies. So the Shekhawati regiment had 2 Hindustani Muslim companies, 2 Hindustani Hindu Jats who were non-Punjabi, 2 other Hindustani Hindu, again non-Punjabi, 1 Hindustani Hindu Rajput, again non-Punjabi, and 1 company of hillmen of the northeast, this Nagaland and Manipur type. Now the battalion was made all Hindu Shekhawat Rajputana Jaipur Rajput unit in 1893, which means that only Shekhawati Hindu Rajputs from Jaipur were recruited in the battalion from 1893. In 1897 it was named 13th Shekhawati Rajput Regiment of Bengal Infantry, and in 1903 13th Shekhawati Rajput Regiment, participated in Second Afghan War, Chitral expedition, attack on Tanga, which was badly led, but this battalion performed outstandingly. Also deployed in Mesopotamia, numbered 10th Battalion of 6th Rajput Regiment in 1922. Its pure Hindu Rajasthan Rajput character was changed, and Punjabi Muslims and Hindu Jats introduced after 1922. As my grandfather's brother Rauf always joked, in a good way, that the battalion was diluted by sprinkling it with some drops of Punjabi Muslims. This was the cornerstone of the British Army, Indian Army reorganization of 1922. This is a very important fact which was never openly, publicly accepted by the British, but seen by Rauf, and of course detailed discussions shared with me in detail till his death in 1982, and I am in full debt to him. As you can see, as he again discussed, 1835 raised as the infantry of the Shekhavati Brigade, 1847 the Shekhavati Battalion, 1861 13th Regiment of Bengal Native Infantry, 1884 13th Shekhavati Regiment of Bengal Infantry, Native Infantry, 1897 13th Shekhavati Rajput Regiment of Bengal Infantry, 1901 13th Shekhavati Rajput Infantry, 1903 13th Rajputs, the Shekhavati Regiment, Battle Honours, Aliwal, Afghanistan 1878 to 80, and Chitral. Now, as a result of the political consequence of the First World War, the 100% Rajput composition, the 100% Rajput Hindu Shekhavat composition was changed in 1922, and the Rajputana Shekhavat Hindu Rajputs were now reduced from 100% to 25%, because as Rauf stated, the British were shaken by the Hindu and Sikh defiance and decided to reduce their numbers in the army and increase the Punjabi Muslim percentage in infantry, which was brought from 4th to 1st after the First World War. So the battalion Hindu Rajputs reduced from 100 to 25%. Then 50% Hindu Rajputana Jats were introduced, as they were regarded as a safer bet than the Rajputana pure Hindu Rajputs. And 25% Punjabi Muslims were introduced as dilution, as Rauf called it. Unit was diluted. The unit was renumbered 10/6 Rajputana Rifles. This was a case where attempt was made to eliminate any racial cohesion by introducing mixed castes. Now, as Rauf stated very clearly, and today we don't understand, or many of us don't understand, that the British were foreigners, and as Rauf's immediate senior in the CID confided to him, "Look, Rauf, if I keep a man in my house, I don't want him to fuck my wife or to tamper with my house. I have to keep loyal people, and there is a limit to which I can trust you Indians." And we loved the Sikhs, as that British remembered and recollected with Rauf. He stated, "We loved the Sikhs before the First World War. They had been our true friends in 1857. But that religious bug, that political bug got in their head. Their heads became very heavy, they became arrogant, they became revolutionary. after getting the ideas from California, and of course they established the Ghadar party. What else could we do but reduce their numbers? Similarly, the British superior of Rauf remembered that the Hindus of Punjab and UP, Bihar, Rajputana and Bengal became too politically active, and we never expected this to happen, but this was the sad reality. Thus, the reorganization of 1922. This is a very interesting subject, and not much research has been done on it, but this is my book's conclusion as shared with Agha Abdul Rauf, my grandfather's elder brother. God bless his soul.